would just like to manifest on those who dissented on the election of the Senate President that we would like to nominate for our minority floor leader no other than Senator Vicente Sotto III, just for the record. Thank you, Mr. President.
Noted and entered into the records. Senator, what is the pleasure of Senator Sotto?
Mr. President, thank you. I'd like to thank my Majority Leader and former Senate President, Migz Zubiri, for that. I have been a good soldier of this august body since 1992. And I am always honored by any position entrusted to me by my esteemed colleagues. So I pledge to perform the duties and responsibilities of being the minority leader. And just for the record, a reminder to all of us, Proverbs 3, verse 6. In everything you do, put God first, and He will direct you and crown your efforts with success. Thank you, and congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Sotto, and we look forward to engaging and working actively with the minority of this chamber. What is the pleasure of Senator Pangilinan?
Yes, Mr. President, just a parliamentary inquiry.
What is the parliamentary inquiry of the Honorable Pangilinan?
Yes, Mr. President, we elected the chairman of the Committee on Rules. He went up to the rostrum and took his oath as majority leader. Should we not give the same procedure with the minority leader? By tradition, the majority and the minority leaders are our officers. By tradition, it's not in our rules. And so perhaps the tradition, I understand, of having the majority leader take his oath happened maybe two Congresses ago. I mean, to provide, I understand Senator Sotto, our minority leader, is declining, but to provide the minority the stature that they deserve. How the majority treats the minority is indicative of how there is parliamentary courtesy. I think it's courtesy to allow the minority leader, should he agree, to likewise take his oath.
Senator Sotto is recognized.
President. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much to my favorite nephew-in-law. I thank you for that. But it grieves my heart to decline because when we elected Senator Frank Drilon as minority leader, we didn't ask him to take the oath anymore. So I can take the oath by merely saying that I will perform the duty of a minority leader. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Pangilinan.
We thank Senator Pangilinan for his suggestion. Likewise, we thank the magnanimity of Senator Sotto. But for the record, Senator Sotto is correct. That has never been done before, especially given the fact that the minority leader is selected and not elected. But we can always establish a new tradition should the minority leader agree or any minority leader agree to do so at some future time.
Just for the record, Mr.
Yes.
President, I observe this because not that I was disappointed, but I did not take my oath as majority leader when I was majority leader in 2004. So I suppose, again, traditions form part of our rules, precedents rather form part of our rules, and if that has been the precedent, that the majority leader takes his oath while the minority leader does not, we have no objections, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan. Majority Floor Leader.
Yes, we thank Senator Pangilinan and again congratulate our minority leader, our esteemed colleague, our former Senate President, Senator Tito Sotto. Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 1. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of proposed Senate Resolution number 1 is now in order. Senate Secretary is directed to read the title only of the measure.
Resolution informing President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. that the Senate has been organized with the election of its officers, and that this body has entered upon the exercise of its functions for the first regular session of the 20th Congress of the Philippines.
Majority Floor Leader.
President, I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 1.
Any objection? Hearing none. Motion is approved. Proposed Senate Resolution number 1 is hereby adopted.
Mr. President, this juncture, I move that we consider proposed Senate Resolution number 2. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of the aforementioned resolution is now in order. Senate Secretary is directed to read the title only of the measure.
Resolution informing the House of Representatives that the Senate has been organized with the election of its officers and that this body has entered upon the exercise of its functions for the first regular session of the 20th Congress of the Philippines.
Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 2.
Any objection? Hearing none, proposed Senate resolution is hereby adopted.
Mr. President, I move that we consider House Concurrent Resolution number 1. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, consideration of House Concurrent Resolution is now in order. Senate Secretary is directed to read the title only of the measure.
Concurrent resolution providing for the Senate and the House of Representatives to hold a joint session to hear the message of the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt House Concurrent Resolution number 1.
Any objection? Hearing none, House Concurrent Resolution number 1 is hereby adopted. Majority Leader.
Mr. President, I move that we consider Senate Concurrent Resolution number 1. So move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, motion is approved. Senate Secretary is directed to read the title only of the measure.
Concurrent resolution creating a joint committee of the Senate and the House of Representatives to notify the President of the Philippines that the Congress, now convened for its first regular session of the 20th Congress of the Philippines, is ready to hear the State of the Nation address in a joint session of both houses.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution number 1.
Any objection? Hearing none, Senate Concurrent Resolution number 1 is hereby adopted. Pursuant thereto, Chair hereby appoints the following to the Joint Notification Committee on the part of the Senate, namely, Senators Estrada, Villanueva, Ejercito, Cayetano, Alan, and our distinguished Minority Floor Leader, Senator Sotto. So ordered. Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Before we suspend the session, may we request our colleagues to remain at the session hall for the official pictorial. We advise the public not to enter the hall while the pictorial is ongoing. Mr. President, there being no further business, I move that we suspend the session until 4 o'clock this afternoon, at which time we shall reconvene at the session hall of the House of Representatives to hear the State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr. in a joint session of both houses of Congress, and upon its adjournment, the session of the Senate shall be considered adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, July 29, 2025. So moved, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the session is suspended until 4 o'clock this afternoon for the joint session of Congress. May the Chair again remind our colleagues to remain on the floor for our traditional picture opportunity, picture taking, and for our respective spouses to kindly remain in the gallery for the photo op as well. The members of the Senate are advised to proceed and to be seated at the Senate Session Hall of the House of Representatives on or before 3:30 p.m. Session is suspended.